volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than our normal episode. If you have eyes, you've already seen that we got the packaging up here. We never talk about packaging on Blind Prime. No, never. That's because usually the packaging is very boring. And, well, this packaging isn't. And it hasn't really been talked about that much. I've heard some people talk about it's set up in a scene. Like, yeah, that's cool. But no one's actually talked about the scene. Like, really talked about it. So I figured I'm going to do a couple of videos on these guys in the next coming weeks because, you know, there's two Transformers here, and I want to give them each their appropriate amount of time because on this channel, both molds are new. I've never done the Megatron mold, which is the T-Rex, and this JP93 right here, he is a brand new mold entirely. Super exciting about that. Everyone thought it was going to be the Skids, but actually, it's its own thing. It's like David S. Pumpkins up in here. So let's talk about this packaging, and then I'm going to make a separate video talking about the actual, we're going to talk about JP93. But I wanted to talk about the entire thing together and just mention, oh man, this is so good. I love this. So, what we've got here, for those of you who cannot see, I've had somebody with eyes describe to me the background here is the background for this Jurassic Park crossover Transformer, where we got the Decepticon Tyrannosaurus. I think that's his, Tyrannosaurus, or something like that. He's the T-Rex, and he's going after JP93, which is the little bitty car, and this is the T-Rex from that movie. The background scene is actually the T-Rex's enclosure with the broken fence posts, and the fencing is right over on the side that has the T-Rex on it, which I was like, oh, so it kind of looks like he just crawled out from the fence, which is back behind this area. I just, wow, you know, I thought the Pit of Judgment was a good one, with the diorama that they gave for that, and I really need to talk about the entirety of the Pit of Judgment on this channel, because that was one great, box set. I love the diorama that it had, and I spent last night actually putting the Pit of Judgment diorama back together because I realized just how amazing it was, and it's so much fun, and this is the same way. So what we have here is, when you watch the Jurassic Park movie, the original one from 1993, that's why he's called JP93, by the way, Jurassic Park 93, you will remember the scene where the T-Rex comes barreling out of the enclosure. He breaks it with his little hands, and he's like, oh, I don't get electrocuted. So he just comes clomping on out, and the kids are in the one vehicle, and they start shining the light and making all sorts of, the T-Rex is like, oh, I wonder what's over there. And then it goes playing with it and flips it upside down and steps on it to scream at the other car. You remember that scene where it steps on the car and screams at the other car? Well, that's what they did here. Look, his foot is on an upside down cardboard car. I think it would have been really cool had they actually included two JP93s and then had one of them flipped upside down right there with him standing on it. I think that would have been awesome. You would have gotten 3 Transformers for the price of 1. But, having this one in cardboard is just still amazing. And it took me a minute to figure out what was going on here, because as a blind person, I'm feeling this kind of rectangular shape, and it's got these half circles on either side of it, and I'm like, what in the world is going on here? What is this thing? And then I thought about it, and I realized the way the T-Rex is positioned, with its mouth all the way open, like it's in the middle of a roar, its back is almost straight going across, and I went, oh my God, it's that scene where the T-Rex is standing on the upside down car. That's what that square thing is with the half circles. That's an upside down car. They've managed to do and then there's the little JP93, the little Jurassic Park vehicle, and everyone kept saying Jurassic Park Jeep, but this isn't the Jurassic Park Jeep. This is the Jurassic Park SUV thing, the mini SUV. Like the first time we ever kind of saw what would eventually be an SUV. Was in Jurassic Park 1993. This thing with the glass front was the closest thing we got to an SUV by that point. SUVs popped off after that, but this was like the beta version of an, well, I mean, the Humvee's kind of the beta version of an SUV, but this is close. You know, it's got that cool front grille on it, and we'll talk about it more in depth on the video, but I just wanted to mention, this is actually the car that they ride in for the T-Rex scene. So when people were screaming about, you know, were telling Jeep, JP93 Jeep, using that freaking Jeep word. You know what a Jeep is? A Jeep is something that people sit in, has no top, only roll bars. That's a Jeep. If it's got a roof, it ain't a Jeep. It ain't a Jeep if it's got a solid roof. That's got a solid roof. So that wasn't the Jeep. That was the mini SUV thing. That was like the cross between a minivan and a utility vehicle, which eventually became the SUV. So that's just like... it messed with me because I wasn't expecting this. What I was expecting was the scene where the T-Rex is chasing the Jeep down the road. So I was like, oh, cool. I love me a Jeep Transformer. I wonder, you know, and when people were like, oh, it's going to be similar to Skids, I'm like, well, how in the world do you get that? I would associate it more similar with like an Earth version of Hound because it's a Jeep. Jeep. It's not SUV. It's not an SUV. It's not a minibus. It's not a minivan. It's Jeeps or Jeeps or Jeeps. That's like calling an all-terrain personnel carrier a tank. It ain't a tank. Yeah, it may have treads like a tank. Ooh, yeah, things do have treads like tanks. But that's like calling a bulldozer a tank. All right? And don't get me started on the person that actually, you know, turned a bulldozer into a tank here in America. You know, that's just crazy American stuff. So anyway, when I got this, I wasn't expecting this scene. And this scene, I just wanted to break this video down for you and explain to you that, like, what this scene is, because people haven't been mentioning it. People haven't talked about it enough, in my opinion. They haven't mentioned how amazing this is. I would have bought this a long time ago. I waited for this thing to get 50% off because I just didn't. I wasn't expecting the diorama to be as good as it was. You're paying for this diorama when you buy this set. This isn't just a Jurassic Park property. This isn't just a Transformers property. This is an entire scene cut from a movie that you can put on your shelf. And what I love most about the way they designed it is that they built it so that when you can take these figures out of this packaging, you can play with them, you can transform them, and then you can put them back. And they stand perfectly well. They designed this. They designed this. It's just so exciting. It's so cool. This has got so much thought put into it. I absolutely love it. You know, this makes up for Blitzwing, Hasbro. This makes up for Blitzwing. I forgive you for Blitzwing because of this. This is beautiful. This is really well done. Thank you for taking the time to actually develop something that is, well, amazing. And I love both of the transformations. They chose really good transformations, both of them. And JP93 is his own thing, which is really cool. But part of me was wanting that gray Jeep with the red Jurassic Park symbols on it. You know, that's kind of what I was wanting. But I got this I wasn't even expecting. I love these vehicles because I thought they were so colorful. It sucks I can't see the colors now, but I really, really loved how colorful the little SUVs were that were part of the ride. And that's really cool, and it's just well thought out. I wanted to do a video explaining that to you guys. It's a really well done crossover set. And we're going to be talking about crossovers for the next few weeks because we've got this guy to talk about, and then we got the G.I. Joe Bumblebee crossover, which turned out to be a decent Transformer. But I wanted to mention this, the underside of it's painted road, like what you had in the movie. So to anybody who does like diorama stuff, this is a great addition to your collection because it can give you ideas on what to actually build to recreate the scene. Or if you just want to keep this on your shelf as is, then that's also something you can do because this fits on a shelf quite nice as this little package. And I'm shaking it around a little bit and nothing's really moving. It does come with one annoying bit. It comes with a gun that isn't really anywhere in particular, which is a shame. The gun doesn't have anywhere to go. That's my big negative on this diorama, is that the gun kind of sits off into the side, and it acts as a tribute to the guy that said "clever girl," but because it's his gun. No, yeah, guys, I think I've spent enough time talking about this packaging and gushing about this packaging. I just wanted you guys to know that it existed, and it's some top-notch stuff. I'm surprised they were able to recreate such a pitiful moment from a pivotal, pivotal moment from the movie in this one scene. I feel this, and I can imagine Grant and the kids. It's the people inside this one screaming as it's screaming at them. And it's just it's so cool. It's just about to push this vehicle off. I just all right. Well, thanks for watching. Tune in later today. I'll have a video up for JP93 here. I'm going to cover him first, and then we're going to go discuss the Megatron mold. Which, by the way, this is my first Megatron mold. I wasn't able to get a hold of the Beast Wars Megatron. Beast Wars really wasn't my jam, and I just kind of patiently waited for a Megatron mold to fall in my lap. And well, paying $45 for a Megatron mold ain't bad. And it came with a free JP93. So that works out for me. All right. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time. Bye-bye for now.